Roles of a denizen. A content creator is a user that creates posts and is rewarded based on the quality of their content. A content evaluator is a user that helps assess the quality of content and enforces community standards. The evaluator is effectively taking part in a marketplace to curate content and is rewarded for early evaluation. A content consumer is a user that wishes to find and consume the most valuable content in a given subject area or within a community. A lair owner is a person holding tokenized ownership of all or part of a community lair. Owners are rewarded with a portion of all mining activity happening within their lair. Owners are incentivized to build the best community of content creators and evaluators.
Hello, and welcome to the DENDAO meeting today. This is May the 8th, 2025. I'm the Emperor of the DENDAO, duly elected, unanimously elected to the office of Emperor. By the way, the title Emperor was voted on before I was voted in as the first Emperor of a DAO. So, without any further ado, this is the weekly meeting. You're free to join us. Cameras are optional. You can go to the DENDAO Lair and click on the meeting for today. It's DENDAO meeting, May 8th, 2025. And inside there, you will see the link. The posting looks just like this. And down here, you'll see a StreamYard link, and then you can join the meeting. There are only 5 open items here unless someone posts something else in the items to be discussed. And so let's get at it. First on the agenda, just like last week, I always like to cover if there's any current open governance votes on the platform. And we'll take a look at that. I see that there is one. It is this one. It's for the podcast layer and a proposal to add video to this layer. I voted, and let's see if it passes. The idea being that for a podcast video, we should probably add video to that layer and have want to post a YouTube video podcast. All right. That is the only item that is right now on the in governance votes. Second on our agenda is welcome new users. Introduce yourself layer. Reminder to my fellow denizens: if you see someone post something into the introduce yourself layer, maybe they are in kind of what might be an inactive person who has come back to the flock, shall we say, and wants to reintroduce themselves to DEN.SOCIAL. Show them some love, and give them some energy, give them some pointers, welcome them back, or welcome new users to the platform. So there was a posting this week. It was from Michael James Smathers, and he posted a long, detailed, very personal introduction or reintroduction, shall we say, including, it looks like, a link to his Zillow home on Zillow. It was a very long and lengthy post, but very heartfelt, warm, and open. He, talks about the death, unfortunately, of his brother, and various spiritual matters, as well as his education and awareness. He certainly, as he says, like in the very opening, I'm a very unorthodox soul at a very young age with a unique spiritual and paranormal abilities. So I suggest you take a look at that and read that. It's a very interesting post. And thank you for everyone that has shown him some love on this. And most importantly, thank you again, Michael, for sharing such personal details. So we really enjoyed it, the read. And look forward to more of your posts. You obviously have a lot to offer the DEN community. So again, make sure you're checking that introduce yourself layer every day and give it some warmth to anyone that posts over there. Next, about growing DEN social and subscribe and follow. I've been talking about this just about every week, and I'm going to say it again. I'm going to give you one simple task, my fellow denizens. Go to YouTube right here. Go to @den.social. This is the official DEN.SOCIAL page, and subscribe to it. Right now, we only have 173 subscribers. That's pretty sad. 548 videos and only 173 subscribers. So I'm asking, Emperor's commanding, you go out and do this. The reason for that is when someone is looking up DEN.SOCIAL, and a lot of people, billions of people, use YouTube as a search function. And they want to know how many followers they have. Is it a dead platform? Is it a growing platform? How many videos are on YouTube on their particular site or their channel, shall we say. So I would like to see this be in the thousands, to be honest with you. If someone is evaluating DEN, this is one way they evaluate DEN. And I certainly have with other crypto projects. I've looked at how many X followers, how many YouTube followers, how many followers on Telegram or other platforms. So this is important when somebody's investigating a platform or a project and wants to see if there's some kind of community out there that's giving it some support. Does it show growth and these kinds of things? So please go out there, go to YouTube, go to DEN.SOCIAL's page and subscribe. All right. Next on the agenda, this is a big one. Number 4, rebranding DEN.SOCIAL to DePlatform. Now, I'm going to share this with you. Hang on just a second. So we can talk about this. Okay. This is kind of an opening of a draft of a particular white paper and a proposal and exact. This is certainly not even in a draft ready for the public to view, but that individuals are working on to join the community and create an enhancement to DEN and rebrand it. And one concept out there that Joe mentioned on his announcement of the SEC win for Dragonchain was DEN.SOCIAL being rebranded to possibly DEPlatform. And this is the logo I wanted everyone to kind of take a look at to get an idea of it. I happen to like it. One, I like the name. I like the purpose and the idea behind it. We'll talk briefly about that. Having said that, this is very important. I can't emphasize this enough. This is still going to require a vote by members of the platform to accept these changes, this proposal. It'll be a DENDAO vote, and we're still a long ways away from that to be able to present the whole idea and concept. So this is just a brief introduction to the concept of what's being discussed. And I think it's important for us fellow denizens to know what is happening behind the scenes, and to get a better understanding of what's taking place and a feel for where we believe is a good opportunity for growth of DEN.social. So the idea being here, DePlatform, as we know, a lot of individuals around the world have been canceled. They've been canceled from their bank accounts. They've been canceled on social media platforms, and I'm talking specifically those individuals for, maybe a political free speech. I'm not talking about, how can I put it, going beyond the norms of society and posting things that is unacceptable to society. I'm talking more along the lines of, for their political free speech being, censored, self-censored, shadow banned, not given a reach. Their voice doesn't have a reach by platforms, because why? These platforms are centralized. These platforms are choosing what they want their users to see and not see, rather than the general public or users have a vote or say what they want to see, what rises to the top or what shrinks. Just the opposite of what DEN.social has to offer. And so the idea being here was there are literally tens of thousands of people who have been deplatformed, have even moved to different countries to be able to speak up about their home country or their home government, or maybe how they've been wronged, but no longer have a voice. Think of it too as like whistleblowers. Some political activists are like whistleblowers. They need a voice, a place to be able to talk. And it's for us to decide, and it's the poly market of DEN.social, each posting. It's up to us to decide if we align with them or not, or what they're saying is factual or fiction or lies or whatever. And DEN.social brings about the wisdom of the crowd and incentivizes us to come to consensus on what is fact or fiction, what is real or not real, what is AI versus not AI. And it seems to be a perfect place for these individuals whom, let me remind you, still have large followings, but they don't have a platform to speak openly. And like I said, some of them are not only deplatformed, but they're almost exiled from their home country because of their right to voice their concern, or right to voice their how they're being wronged. And it is a different niche than a lot of social media platforms have. There's plenty of social media platforms like TikTok and short videos and cat videos, and maybe different niches of sports or funny videos, whatever. But where is there a platform that has really opened up for free speech? Many will argue that X has now that it's been purchased, is now open. Some will say, I left X because of what has happened with Elon's purchase, and it moved on to Mastodon or wherever. Then you have X, and you have True Social, and you have was it Blue Space or whatever? My apologies, I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, why not have a place that would welcome any or all of those viewpoints, and allow them to speak openly, have their own channels, and bring their own, their followers to DEN, where DEN can be a place that can evaluate what they have to say and vote up or down, and have that public discourse. I think it's a great idea. And there's been individuals who have large followings, like 60, 80, 100,000 people following them on X, but still self-censor or still have been censored. And they would welcome the opportunity to have a place where they felt it more at home and they didn't have to self-censor and could bring 10, 15, 100,000 people over to this platform, where not only they would be rewarded for their efforts, like how we are rewarded with our postings and quality content with Matter, but so would their followers. And I like it. I like this idea. It's like it says here, DePlatform rebrands DEN.SOCIAL as a decentralized streaming platform. This is for video, dedicated to political free speech, countering the censorship plaguing mainstream platforms like, and we know what those are like, we're talking about platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and X. So I'm bringing this forward for all of you to see and listen and hear, as talks progress, conversations progress, as the white paper is being drafted, and there has been an interest for this draft to be published right away, by some of these individuals, who will also take it to other individuals who want to invest possibly in this platform, and create that political free speech, where it can't be shut down by a nation state or government. It can't be censored, where there's no central, control that tries to push people away from their message and into other messages. They like the idea that they can say, without, of course, the norm. We're not talking about causing harm to other people or inciting riots and terrorist activities, anything of that nature. Of course not. So there's still, TOS, terms of service, to be worked out, or shall we say a constitution. And all of these things, again, because DEN.SOCIAL is run by the DENDAO. It is a DAO. It's we all have votes, and there's many of us around the world. This isn't just a US thing or a European thing or a UK thing or a Serbian thing or an Indian thing. This is from around the world. People have votes. We are DEN.SOCIAL is borderless. It's essentially practically decentralized to a point where it doesn't have a particular nation state that it must answer to, thus creating censorship. So you can see where we're going here. I think it has potential, a large potential, and it doesn't mean that for those individuals couldn't still post cat videos or dog videos or epic fails of someone falling off of a slide or something like that, or into the water, everyone getting laughter. It certainly would allow those types of video feeds to be posted on the site. But maybe it's time for us to have a new beginning, a new start, a new brand, a new name, and bring about change in the areas where people are waking up to the censorship and don't like it. Yes, those other platforms have large groups. They have large followings. They have a large user group, in some cases in the billions. What I think X has maybe 600 million, something to that effect, users. I don't know how many are active. But we have an opportunity here to make a difference in the world and provide video streaming, along with, comments and up and down votes, all the good things that DEN brings to the table. Let me add this. What if channels become layers? You follow now? So like you have YouTube channels, well, those YouTube channels are now layers. And what if it's simple and easy to create a layer or channel? It doesn't have this long, lengthy LCP process. But there's a lot of questions that go with that. What happens to the lore that some of us denizens own? What happens to how can we be fairly and in an equitable way recoup that investment? Or so there's a lot of things to be discussed and figured out along the way. We as denizens, I'm a stakeholder too, and when those changes come about, I'm going to voice my opinion, and I'm also going to vote accordingly that would protect my investment, in lore and lot, and of course matter, and what's best, for what I think is best for my assets in the platform, as well as what is going to grow the platform. I can only be a voice, and I can only be a person of encouragement. But like I said in the very beginning, we have to look at ways of raising revenue to pay for enhancements and growing the site, revenue maybe to grow the site for advertising. And how do we do that? And these are things that are being discussed right now as we speak. I personally like the idea that DEN.SOCIAL does not have ads and it does not have bots. Okay, well, if you don't have these things, how are you going to fund the site? How are you going to fund new enhancements and development? And how is, if we're going to cannibalize matter, in other words, the DAO earning part of that 1,000 minted matter that happens every day and then sell it on the open market, well, then we're shooting ourselves in the foot by cannibalizing the price, essentially. We've seen that with other projects do this. Even the play to earn sites, everyone plays and then quickly cashes out and it depresses the price. And then next thing you know, you're in the same boat that we're in currently here with DEN, with no income sources or revenue sources to pay for, programs, developers, and new code and new enhancements. So, having said all that, that's what is being discussed. This is what's being rolled out. I like the idea, and this is new. I don't think it's out there. Maybe it is in some other crypto projects. I'm not sure, but imagine a YouTuber who has their followers, but their followers comment and they encourage them to, make a payment to Patreon or whatever to, be more than just a subscriber, but become a member and these types of things. But they don't own a piece of the channel. Well, DEN.SOCIAL, that's what we do with our layers, right? We own a piece of those layers during the development and creation process. Or someone can come from the outside and pay some ETH to have a layer created. Beautiful. But what if the community that's following an individual can also have ownership in the channel? So the content provider, content creator owns a majority interest in the channel, but their followers have also ownership. So it's not just a personal connection between the content follower and the followers. The person who makes a comment and you make a comment, hey, that was a great video, I learned this and this, and thank you very much. Next video, can you talk about such and such and such and such? And they get a big heart from the content provider. Hey, the content provider, he or she likes me, she liked my comment, and we feel that connection. Well, what a better way to connect than to have a shared ownership in the channel. And so if you're content provider or content creator, influencer, whatever you want to call them, starts growing and starts having more and more followers, and the channel grows, then that lot, right, just like layers, that lot in a layer would grow in value as well and can be traded on an open market. I love that idea, and plugging in the incentives that we have with human behavior, where each posting, each video now is a poly market that is sorted out by the denizens. I don't know what we would call ourselves if we were deplatformed. It became deplatformed. I like the name denizen. But who knows? There's still a lot to figure out, a lot to work out, and I wanted to give this a brief introduction to it. Joe had already talked about it, and hopefully here very soon we can release maybe a first draft of the white paper, and that should give you an idea of what's taken place behind the scenes. A little bit, give you further idea that DEN.SOCIAL is going to grow, and DEN.SOCIAL has a future. I certainly feel that way, and I certainly feel that way after Dragonchain won its case against the SEC. All right, let's remove that real quick, and we shall bring back our other screen. I look forward to, everyone's comments, and as we grow this idea of rebranding DEN.SOCIAL to DePlatform, and I will do my best to keep you updated on this in the DENDAO Lair. So if you want to learn more, you want to know more, you have questions about it, post them in the DENDAO meeting, and I will discuss those in the next meeting, or reply to your comments throughout the week. Remember, the DENDAO meeting is every Thursday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right. What is that? 8 p.m. UTC. So, all right. That is the first 4 items on our agenda. Let me go ahead and hit refresh and see if there's any other comments. And no, it doesn't look like there's any comments at this point in time. So that concludes the open forum items, the 5 items. And same with the chat. Be remarkable. Thank you. Good name. Oh, I like that name in the chat. Hello, be remarkable. There we have it. I think that's it. So again, go out and vote if you want to see video in the podcast layer. Welcome new users on the introduce yourself layer. Grow DEN. I gave you an order as your emperor. Go subscribe to the DEN.SOCIAL YouTube channel. Show those numbers are growing. Rebranding DEN.SOCIAL to DePlatform is a concept, an idea that's being profited to everybody. So take a look at that. Now you have an idea of what's going on, and we've covered if there was any other questions. So without that, anything else, I believe that shall end our meeting for today. Let's go out with Enter the Dragon. Thank you everybody for watching. We'll see you in the meeting for next week. Same time, same channel.
Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best. Adaptable, all capital, label radical yet rational. A tactical approach is palpable if this animal is fallible. But that conclusion is laughable, so with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now?